How do you guys really stand out from other alternative options? How do you support your franchisees? And who's a good candidate for this? Who do you look for that'd be a good fit for this? And what's the total investment? All right, you want to introduce yourself, please?
Sure, my name is Paul Dean. I'm Vice President of Business Development and Real Estate with CEFA Early Learning. It's a private school system out of Canada, now expanding into the US. We've been in the market for 27 years and 50 schools in operation.
Amazing. How do you guys really stand out from other alternative options?
Yeah, so one of our main differentiators lies in the methodology, the way that we execute our curriculum. It's not so much about the what as the how. We're a private school for little children, 1 to 5. We've been around for long enough to know exactly how the methodology needs to execute to take advantage of the best learning abilities of children at the right time of their lives.
Okay, and as far as how do you want to now support your franchisees?
Yeah, so our support goes all the way through from initial screening of the candidates to make sure that they really understand what they're getting involved in, all the way through to real estate selection, identifying the right markets, what is our target demographic, the business model, the way that it executes, and then all the way through to opening the school, right from design through to curriculum development, training, teacher recruitment, and all the way through to the opening implementation phases as well. Marketing is a big piece. Our schools don't fill overnight. As soon as you open the doors, children don't come dashing in. It takes time to establish a reputation and a presence in the market. And our marketing teams are very active on making sure the communities know that we're coming up to a year before we actually open our schools.
I love that. And who's a good candidate for this? Who do you look for that'd be a good fit for this?
Yeah, so we've got a diverse network of franchisees in our system now. That would include folks that have come from an engineering background, finance background, very highly qualified, but then we've also got educators, former CEFA teachers, former CEFA principals, and former CEFA parents who become our franchise partners. The advantage for franchise partners, though, is that you don't have to have a certain level of qualification or type of qualification to become a franchisee. The main thing we want is that you have a passion for education, you want to make a difference, have an impact in the communities, and that's 90% of our work done. If we can get to the folks who really do have that passion for early learning, the rest of it becomes a business model and around the conversation of how you make the points come together. The model is very predictable. It's got a long-term sustainable revenue base. We build schools for 20, 30 years. This is not a short run. So we're looking for franchisees who really do have that long-term vision, whether it's building their own legacy or whether it's just having a desire to really have an impact in the space. They need to have that passion for learning, but they don't need to come with any particular skill set or anything like that.
And what's the total investment?
Total investment, and depending on a whole lot of operation or configurations of space and real estate and etc. If you're going to be renting space, you might be anywhere from $2.5 to $3 million. If you're going to purchase a real estate, you could be up to the $6 and $7 million. We would be able to configure the investment based on the dynamics of the market, and at the same time knowing what parents have an affordability level in those markets, and certainly highly qualified parents have a great tendency towards CEFA's programming. We would build out the model to make sure that it fitted suitably in that environment. But you're looking at a higher price point, you're looking at a fairly significant cash contribution initially, because we want to make sure that our franchise partners are being set up for the long haul, where it's going to take them 2 or 3 years potentially to fill their school, or longer or quicker. They need to have the financial resources available to be able to support themselves over that period. And then once the school's full, again, it becomes a production, not quite production line, but very predictable in terms of converting waitlist to enrollment, and then the model becomes a long-term investment.
Yeah, it's one of the most durable divisions to really invest in when you look at a sector that's durable, and you're always going to have kids in early education, and that market is never going to go anywhere. And like you said, it really becomes a great long-term asset once you get it up and running. So congratulations, great business model. You can never go wrong investing in kids, and congratulations on your success.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, thank you. Do you want to franchise your business and take it to a whole new level? Click the link below to schedule a free consultation today.